Yo, it's your boy, man. Here to chop it up with you about guilty before proven innocent. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because social media has a way, and the internet has a way of painting people guilty before any proof has been brought up, any this, that, and the other. Now, listen, I bring this up because Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears is going through a situation when they say a brother and a sister were groomed when they was doing a comedy sketch for Funny or Die called Through the Eyes of a Pedophile. And they were groomed to do unspeakable things in front of the camera. And they've been traumatized for this, so they're bringing up a lawsuit. Now, Tiffany Haddish, lawyers have said they done tried this multiple times, and it's been unfounded all these times, and this, that, and the other, and they're going to fight it. George Foreman, two women trying to sue him, $25 million apiece, for saying he groomed them from the ages of 8 years old all the way up to 13, doing another girl from 15 and going up, doing little stuff. Deshaun Watson has just went through his case where 25 women around approximately came out, and he still is... He sat down a year. He's still sitting down 11 more games today. Fined $5 million. I'm just saying, a lot of times people are painted to be guilty before proven innocent. And it should be the other way around. Punishment for these things, I believe, should be what they are facing. Listen, people are too often able to just fling these things out there and say, oh, they did it. And then in the court of public opinion, they're condemned, they're shunned, they're disciplined, they lose their jobs, they lose money. But then on the back end, if they didn't do it, then what? Oh, never mind. And I'm like, well, how is it? Like, listen, whatever you are accusing them of, it's time to change the law, man. Whatever, if you're accusing a man of all these things, sexual things against you, and he's facing 15, 20 years, you should be facing that 15 to 20 years if it comes out that it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, the problem I have with a lot of these things where they want to come out, George Foreman's case was from the 70s. So now you come out years later where what proof can be had? No DNA, no, you know what I'm saying? It's just your word against theirs. And I'm not saying I don't believe these young ladies, but it gets to a point where I've become jaded. My ears and my eyes have become jaded to kind of be like, well, prove it. Prove it. Because I don't know if this is the truth or not. Because so many people are doing cash grabs that you can't really decide what's true and what's not. And I just think that the consequences for throwing these kind of allegations out there should be more dire. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a woman who did this, got a guy locked up. He was supposed to go to the NFL. She got the guy locked up. She had consensual sex with the guy. Afterwards, she said it was otherwise. He was thrown in jail for many years, lost his scholarship and contracts and this, that, and the other. She then sued the school for $1 million. Won. By the time he got out, she had admitted that it was false. It was fake. She had already collected on the $1 million lawsuit. And then by the time he had got out, it was past the statute of limitations, and he could not press charges against her, so she was scot-free. I'm just saying, does this happen all the time? No, not all the time, but it happens. It happens enough to where people keep doing the Me Too thing, where they can just jump in the boat where it's like, oh, okay, did this happen to a few girls? Yes. But then now, if it happened to one or two girls, now 20 more girls jump on the bandwagon and then sully somebody's name, or, you know what I'm saying? If it happened at all. I don't know. We don't know what is true and what isn't. But I have a problem with us vilifying people right off the rip as soon as we hear the story, you know what I'm saying, with no proof. No, just assumptions. And I'm tired of people just believing that we are being evil towards our women and stuff like that because we don't believe right off the rip. But I'm sorry, women, y'all have to get some of y'all women in check. Every woman is not of the cloth of truth. Every woman is not a stand-up woman, nor is every man. So, just like I may not believe every woman's story, I may not believe every man's story either. Like, you know, Where there's smoke, there's fire. If it's a lot of stuff, just like they used to say back in the day with Mike, it was a whole lot of people that lied on Mike. And it came out that they lied on Mike and they was trying to extort him and this, that, and other, right? But where there's smoke, there's fire. D.L. Hughley said it all the time. Hey, I love Mike. I don't believe, the stuff they saying about him. But would I let my child go over there? No. No, I'm not. You're not going to the ranch. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that to be that type of thing where it's like, can you prove it? Did this happen? I don't know, but there's still some iffiness there. So that's the thing in me where it's like, well, I mean, Mike's a man. I should believe Mike, right? Because we men, and he probably ain't do it. No, I didn't believe the things in the case weren't adding up, and I believe that these were false. But to say that it could have never happened is, I think, a silly assumption. Hence why many folk would have been like, yeah, you can't go to the ranch, son, or daughter, you're not going over there. You know what I'm saying? But I just have a problem with allegations being thrown out there, no proof, and then people's lives are just wrecked through this. You lose jobs, you lose sponsorships, you lose your name, which you never get back, because when they throw the story out there, it's all salacious, it's all huge, it's everywhere, it's viral. But then when it comes out, oh, the lady lied. Like when it happened to Mike, there was no big thing about him about the lie when the lies came out. There was no big celebration like oh they lied and da da da. It wasn't as viral. As you can see, it got lost in the wash, because they then, Oprah and Gayle them then came out years later with a whole nother documentary claiming that Mike was guilty, when these same men that they had on this documentary had already been caught lying and cases was dismissed and all type of stuff. So you see how people can rewrite history when they feel like it? And I just think that's terrible. Me and my cousin was having a conversation the other day. And he's like, man, all these lawyers ain't nothing. Me and APX. These lawyers ain't nothing. Why you say that? Because they be defending people who they know guilty. They might defend the mobsters and stuff. And them people killed this person. I'm like, yeah, okay, you got chances, cases where lawyers is about their money. They're going to defend whoever. But everybody is deserving of being defended. I'm just saying, in certain cases where the folks did it, how you know they did it, though? Whether you're talking about mobsters, assaults, fights, shots fired, sexual things, how do you know they did it, though? I'm just saying, how you know? Because social media told you know? You don't know. And until it's you that's sitting in that seat that get caught in a precarious situation where you're like, oh, this might look a certain way. And then now you needed to be defended. That's when you understand. You know what I'm saying? The one lady on Claudia Jordan, the dude on Claudia Jordan's show was like, the George Foreman case got too many details. It's not looking good for George, because why would they make up all these details? You know what they say? When people get to talking too much, they might be lying. You get to give it extra details a little bit. I done did this before. Yeah, because my car had broke down around what's his name out. Then the lug nut came off. Then I had a nail in my other tire. I went around trying to change that, pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? Boop. The other one fell off the jack stand and all of this. I don't know. You woke up late. Why would you say that? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get to talking too much in cases of, are you telling the truth or are you lying? You could be lying. You try to get to over-explain and stuff because you think the simple explanation you gave ain't enough and your brain triggers you to keep lying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that the ladies are lying or they are telling the truth. I'm just saying it looks suspicious after 50 years to come with this. Now, do some people hold secrets for that long because of trauma that they went through and maybe they was embarrassed about it and didn't want to come out and say that? Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, the view of things, it does look suspicious because, I mean, you wait this long, but you can't even remember the details of the case. With Cosby, it was a lot of women that was mixing up details because of memory. Because you're 70, 80 years old now. Cosby's 70, 80 years old now. So, I mean, when you let so much time go past, not only is it less traceable, and now it's just my word against yours, but now it's harder to prove you don't know who did what, you don't remember where you was at. Like, I have a hard time trying to tell stories that I've been telling all my life about stuff that happened back in the past. You forget over years. I'm just saying, it's murky waters to be playing in. Who believes who? Should it go out like this? I'm just saying, you're throwing out accusations. You should have to deal with some punishment as well. This your boy Pete Camp. Get out and let me know what you think in the comments.